What's up, nerds? It's Nerd Josh 25 back with another Paldea League Colosseum gym battle. Today we're taking on Eric, the Poison Puppeteer. We're going for badge number 7. Let's dive right on in. So for this battle against Eric, I've decided to go with the trick room team with a few modifications. As you can see, I've added Snorlax to my lineup, but we still got the usual team. Anyways, let's hop into the battle. Good luck to Eric. Hope for a great match. Alright, to start the battle off, as you can see, I led with my Snorlax and Sinistra. He leads with Overquill and Monkidori. Now, for this strategy, I'm going to go right off the bat here. The Imitate does hit Snorlax, but that's not going to matter here on this turn because I'm going to go for Belly Drum, and I'm going to Rage Powder on Sinistra here. I'm thinking of Terroring here, but I'm like, no, I have Articuno in the back, and I need to keep it have some damage, especially if Needles Overquill is still out on the field. So I just go for Rage Powder here to draw attention away from Snorlax. Sinistra is a tanky Pokemon, and I really need to get that +6 attack. So here comes the Sledge Bomb into Sinistra. Does a little under half damage, but Pocket Chain does take it. I don't expect Sinistra to live much past for this round, but here comes a Crunch. Knocking out Sinistra, it did what it wanted to do. I wanted to set up Snorlax to get the Belly Drum, and that's what he did. So thank you, Sinistra, you little cup of matcha. You served your purpose. But there is our Belly Drum, and we are at max attack now. And as you can see on the move chart, I decided to go with Earthquake for this gym because I wanted to get massive damage output as possible. And also I have leftovers on Snorlax, but I don't have the Gluttony ability. I have immunity on this Snorlax, which Eric's going to find out here real soon, but I send in Bobber, the Porygon 2, and we can get our Trick Room shenanigans started here. Trace picks up Toxic Chain. It's an interesting pickup for it, aside from the fact that we're facing a Poison-type gym, but I decided to Protect here and get Trick Room going, and I'm wondering what Eric's going to do here now, because one, Snorlax can get out a bunch of damage. He decides to tries to bring back Needles, and instead sends out his Protection, aka the Lamora. I go for a Protect here, and Monkidori is going to do Focus Blast into the Snorlax slot. Good thing I protected, that would have been super bad. But here comes Trick Room from Bobber, and we can now start with some Trick Room shenanigans here. And this is where Snorlax is going to be a very key part of this battle, with the Earthquake here, and as you can see, Bobber's going to be affected by it, but I decide that it's best for me to bring in Galarian Articuno because it's a flying type, so it won't be affected, and I feel like with the Psychic aspect, I can take out the other Pokemon on Eric's team here. So we bring back Bobber. Thank you so much, Bobber. You set up Trick Room, and now we can get start to take advantage of Snorlax Bulk and physical attack. So here comes the Earthquake, doesn't affect Articuno, and here we go, knocks out Monkidori, 1-hit KO. Lamora hangs on with that Focus Sash, and here comes the Poison Spikes from Toxic Debris. I'm not really worried about Toxic Debris for Snorlax in this case because of immunity, but Monkidori goes down. That's one of the hard hitters on Eric's team gone. Here comes Whirl Spin. Doesn't do anything, but as you can see, Articuno got poisoned and Snorlax did not. I had to look into what immunity was for the longest time. I thought it was, oh, you can get hit with Toxic Spikes and be poisoned, but you won't take damage. I got that confused with Poison Heal, which is on Gliscor's ability, but Articuno's hurt by the poison, not too worried about that. But now we are sitting comfortably at tied 5 apiece in terms of how many Pokemon we have left, and Snorlax is just ready to start going through Eric's team here. Now, I'm wondering what Eric's up to, as it's taking him a little longer to make a choice here. It's either that or a connection problem. But here comes out False Cure, aka Rillaboom. Now, so the Grassy Surge comes up, and this is where it's going to get interesting because Grassy Surge lowers the power of ground-type attacks. So I decided to just Heavy Slam into him. I honestly could have just Earthquaked, I think, this turn to make it safe, but I wanted better safe than sorry, and I decided to go Heavy Slam at max attack onto Rillaboom to take it out. Now I'm wondering what Eric's gonna do here, and he was one of the more tougher battles to get through. Again, this group is full of very strong trainers. Him, Ronnie, Nick, are some of the tougher gym battles I faced. Again, like I mentioned in my last video against Tim, he was only beaten twice last year. So props to them for having a great group of trainers. But here comes Fake Out onto Articuno. That doesn't really matter. Here comes Heavy Slam, and we take out False Cure in one fell swoop. We just banana slammed his Rillaboom back to the DK jungle, and we are now looking really well right now because that's two of his harder hitter Pokemon taken out, and Snorlax get that HP back from both Grassy Surge and Leftovers, making it a very tanky Pokemon at this point. And so we are looking really good right now. Poison's going to hit Articuno. Not too worried about Articuno at this point. It's there for damage control and the fact that I can have a partner Pokemon out there in that slot to avoid getting hit by the Earthquakes, but that is from a max attack Snorlax. But here comes Needles, the Overquill again. I'm not too worried about the Intimidate. We're still +5 attack. But here is where things get interesting. Competitive activates on Articuno, giving it +2 special attack. Now this turn here, I definitely messed up here. I went for Earthquake to deal some damage, and I decided to Terra. I Terra Ground into Articuno, and I think to myself, why am I doing this? I really shouldn't have Terra here. Now Articuno is able to get hit by the Earthquakes, making it a lot more difficult for my team now. And Articuno is one of my offensive weapons against this Poison type team, but needless to say, they go for a Protect, and that makes me even more worried because here comes the Earthquake, and we gotta see how much this does to Articuno being a ground type now. And so here comes the Earthquake, and we take out Infection. We leave Articuno at 42 HP. And now there's double the Toxic Spikes out, which means it has Toxic Condition when a Pokemon enters the battlefield. But Lamora is gone, and now we are up 5-3. Terra Blast not going to do anything into the Overquill slot as it used Protect. But Snorlax getting more HP back from both Leftovers and Grassy Surge, making it a very tough Pokemon to knock out at this point. I trained it to have a lot of health and attack power, as well as defense. I actually got the inspiration from, I actually asked help for this during the gym challenges, because the gym leaders are so nice. They give you advice on how to raise the Pokemon to like get the most maximum output you want for your team. And it's really paying off. Snorlax is definitely a great addition to this Trick Room team. But here comes the Eternatus, sorry, Pokemon fanatics who are very keen on pronunciation. But Eternatus comes out. I'm checking out. We have a few more turns of Trick Room here, but we're going to see how much an Earthquake does here. I decided to protect with Articuno here. I really should have went for a... I feel like I should have went on the offensive here, but I decided to play it safe with Articuno protecting here. Here comes Snorlax's Earthquake. Protects Articuno. Mostly I did that so Articuno can have one more turn. But here we come, and we do over half damage to both Eternatus and Needles. Barbarage goes into the Articuno slot. It's very interesting they didn't go into the Snorlax slot there. But Eternatus and Dynamax Cannon, I was very worried about this move, but let's see how much Snorlax takes. Barely does a quarter of our HP. We're sitting very nicely at 150, going back up at least 27 more as we go to 165. And then we get up to 180, so we got 30 HP back just from that alone. Articuno gets restored from the Grassy Surge, bring it back into yellow. But Needles also has Leftovers here. And I will say this, the Overflow definitely was a problem for me in this battle. I really tried to figure out how I could get around it. And I feel like there were a couple times in this battle where I could have got rid of it. But as you can see, Articuno goes down to 18 HP here. It's not going to be around much longer, but the dimensions have returned to normal. Trick Room's gone. We're still at 5-3 here. I decided to go for Earthquake, trying to get the KOs here. And Articuno, I'm going to have it do Terra Blast into Eternatus to try to get some damage off. And hopefully get this to be a closer battle. But there goes Protect. And let's see what Eternatus does here, as it's going to move first here. And Dynamax Cannon into Articuno, which I found to be strange. I think Nick Eric wanted to get a quick KO there to make me go into a little more panic mode here. But here we go. Earthquake's going to go off here. And it should KO the Eternatus here. Overquill protects. And there it goes. And Eternatus is no more. Send it back. Back to him, defeated, and we're 2 Pokemon away from getting our 7th badge in the Paldea Colosseum. And honestly, this entire opportunity to like get to do this with these great trainers is really nice. I'm learning a lot more about competitive battling, and especially with the restricted rules, how you can only have 2 legendary Pokemon, or a restricted and a sub, or paradox. And I think it's really great for team building. And now we're gonna send out Bobber here. So I want to try to get Trickroom back up. Now here's where I mess up the most, because his Basulian Sneasel, or Sneasler, or I forget, but it's going to be an offensive threat. So what I think he's going to do here is I think he's targeting down my Snorlax slot, so I decide to protect. I thought about clicking Earthquake to try to get the battle over with, but I decided nope, I'll just Trick Room and get it from there, because Unburden makes it a lot faster, and so I wanted to try to get that speed advantage back. But here we go, protect, and right off the bat, close combat into Bobber. Poor Bobber, who lives on 45 HP, but its defense is down, and also the special defense from close combat. Barbarage, also they doubled down into my Bobber slot. So I could have just ended the battle with Snorlax there probably, because that would have for sure KO'd Needles. But regardless, that was probably one of my turns where I didn't play aggressive enough. I was too passive for that. But we get more HP back with Snorlax, 225, going back up to about 240 here. Almost at full health from when he started at the battle. So that just shows that how great Snorlax is. Alright, so the grass is gone, so Earthquake's at full power. I'm down to 3 Pokemon left. I decided to send Toru and try to get some of that Choice Band reckless damage off. And in the comments, if you want to, tell me, try to guess where I got the inspiration for Toru from. I will say it was from one of my favorite TV shows growing up. Now, I decided to go for Flare Blitz into the Sneasler here, because it's going to move before Snorlax. But close combat into Snorlax. Snorlax was on 22 HP. And Sneasler should just be done here. But Crunch goes into Snorlax. Snorlax, thank you for your service. You have done well. You did what you're supposed to do. You got us into this situation. We're going to end it. Toru, Flare Blitz into the Sneasler. 1-hit KO. And now Eric's down to his last Pokemon while I still have 2. And so this is where it's going to get very interesting in this home stretch here as we get down to it. Because Needles is getting more life back with leftovers, and I'm getting taken damage from poison here. And so we are down to Glastrier and Toru. And here we go, sending Glastrier. And I'm going to try to Stomping Tantrum along with Flare Blitz here. But let's see what Needles is going to do here. We go for Stomping Tantrum and Flare Blitz. Try to get some damage off here. We'll wait. Alright, goes for Protect. Now, with that Protect going off, Stomping Tantrum is going to do a lot more damage, because it's going to be double since it failed the last time. But Needles is going to Protect here. And Stomping Tantrum not going to do anything. So we are looking really great here overall. But again, Leftover, very dangerous item to have on a Overquill, as it's getting more life back. Toru takes some damage from the poison. Now the big question is, what slot is he targeting down in terms of Barbarage, because of poison, so it's going to do double the damage. But we're going to double into his slot as it's the only one left. But here we go. Moment of truth turn. Barbarage goes into Toru. Toru gets knocked out. Sorry, buddy, but thank you for getting rid of that. His Unleashed. I feel like we're getting rid of that in worse shape, but Stomping Tantrum goes into Needles. It is on a fourth of its HP, and so now we're in a standoff at this point, and the Glastrier is taking poison damage, and so I click on Stomping Tantrum, hoping for it, but he protects. He protected. So that means our next Stomping Tantrum, if we live the next Barbarage, will do double damage, guaranteeing us the win here. So it's the moment of truth now. Needles get some leftovers health back. So so here we go. Poison gonna hit Glastrier. 120 HP left. Hope it's enough. Stomping Tantrum into Needles. Let's see it. Barbarage gets off. Glastrier lives with 47 HP. Stomping Tantrum gets the KO on Needles. And we have done it. We've gotten our 7th gym badge. We have beaten Eric, the Poison Puppeteer. Great game to you. Just a great battle overall. Oh man, such a good map. Oh, wow. Well, that battle took a little longer than I expected. Well, great game to Eric, but we got our 7th badge. Hit the like, subscribe, and peace out, nerds.